Hello everyone, and welcome to the spoiler review of Trigun. I'm going to be doing this review unscripted, just to see how it goes. But now is your chance to get out if you have not seen Trigun and don't wish to be spoiled. I'll leave a link to my non-spoiler review, so you can get a general idea for what it is if you haven't seen it. But now on to the review. So what I was saying before, about Vash, he is really likable right away. I mean, the first time I watched this series, it was my brother who actually had the VHS tapes. And I actually borrowed it from him. And I remember the first time I saw Vash, I was like, whoa, this guy looks like a badass. And then the first thing he says and shows himself, he ends up doing a cat face, and I'm just cracking up, and I'm like, I could tell that this guy is going to be a very likable protagonist. And honestly, his backstory confused me the first time. Because whenever it was revealed that he's called a plant, I thought him and his brother were a human and sunflower hybrid or something like that. But no, it's just one of those quirks in cartoons and anime where something means completely different. And I mean, it makes sense why Vash can do superhuman feats. I was wondering how he had such fast reflexes and how he was able just to dodge every single bullet that's fired at him. I really love Vash's character journey throughout this series too. I mean, he is definitely somebody who's not just a one-note type person. A lot of characters in anime tend to be just one note. What I mean by that is they're always silly, or they're always serious. They always have the same personality, and that's kind of lazy writing in my opinion in anime. But I love how Vash can be goofy, and talking to kids, and having fun, and then the next minute he knows when to be serious, and you could tell that he's in pain. Because I mean, a lot of anime, whenever say the protagonist starts crying because of because they're contemplating messed up stuff going on in their life or something that they're doing. I notice with a lot of anime characters, I'm usually sitting there oh, boo-hoo, wah, 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 get up, nobody feels sorry for you. But the person who plays Vash is a really good voice actor, both in English and Japanese. That's one thing I like about this. This is a really good anime in English. There's not too many anime I prefer in English, but Trigun's one of them. And moving on to other characters, I really love Meryl and Millie. They both are kind of cliche, personality-wise. Meryl is just really hot-headed and she's just I can't believe that this silly person is this Vash the Stampede. And I knew that her and Vash would form some kind of romance. I mean, they are very much yin and yang. I think that they have enough in common to, I don't know, be compatible, but yet they're different enough to where they're not too much alike. Because both Vash and Meryl are both very determined people. And Millie, oh man, I love how sweet she can be 1 second, and then just firing a machine gun off a second later. I love the dynamic that these three have. They really work off each other really well. And Wolfwood, oh man, he's a great supporting character. Really badass. And I love the religious touch for him. I mean, it works for him. A lot of the times with this religious stuff, it can be annoying, it can be preachy. But I really like about how he's essentially carrying his sins on his back with that whole cross thing. And of course the way that cross thing just busts out tons of guns. Oh my god, how could you not love that? That's the definition of badass. His death really surprised me. And that's one thing I like about Trigun, is that death really has weight in this show. Even characters that are villains, they can get murdered off in pretty brutal and just cold ways. And then we move on to the villains, and I actually care about them. There aren't too many anime where every single villain that they throw, I either understand their motives, they make a big impact in the story, and I actually care about them. It is really hard for me to care about every single villain. Like, I'm not like, oh no, he died or something like that, but it's just more like, I actually understand their motivation. I don't think that they're lazily written. Like, I mean, like I was saying in my non-spoiler review, like, this show got me to actually sympathize with a bank robber. At least that's what I think he was robbing. And Knives, oh my god, like, he is a brilliant villain. Like, I honestly think he's as good of a villain as Sensui. I mean, him and Sensui basically had, like, the same, like, thing that turned them evil. Like, they both saw really messed up stuff that they probably should not have saw whenever, at least they were as young as what they were. And I mean, Knives' backstory really makes sense on the way he is. I mean, it is a pretty crazy concept that humans created these interdimensional beings basically just to enslave them and just sap them out of their energy. And I've heard the manga backstory for Vash and Knives is even more dark. Let me know in the comments section if you own the Trigun manga and if it's worth buying, because I already own the anime, but moving on. And another thing, but I really admired her character and liked that she gave Vash an appreciation for life. And I always find it so crazy that Knives always finds a way to hurt Vash and make him go against his own no-killing rule in some way or another. That's just one way that Knives is such a great villain. And even like all of his like top henchmen, those guys like actually provide Vash with really good fights, and I like that too. I really love the story of Trigun. I mean, it is basically like one bounty hunter a week type thing. Like every episode is just like Vash has to face off a certain bounty hunter, a little bit of more character development, a little bit more world building, and basically that's kind of how it is every single episode. But there is like one episode dedicated just to Vash's and Knives' backstory, which is actually a really good break from the main story. And the last episode is a really good one, and I love the open ending of the anime. I know the manga gives a definitive ending, but I love the open ending. And I also would love to see a continuation of Trigun, but I'm not too sure what they could do with this series if they were to choose to move forward. But anyways, that's all for the review today. I hope you all enjoyed it. I'm off to go get some donuts. Catch you guys later.